PEGI 18.
For me personally, one of the key components in creating these kind of atmospheric experiences is definitely sound.
There's not like a rule book for a playbook for like, okay, this is how you make horror. Horror is more to do with the subconscious, the drawing on fear, like really trying to manipulate the player into feeling something and feeling anticipation and dread. And that is one of the hardest things and one of the most exciting things that a sound designer could actually do.
To be able to create those sort of tension moments, we have to focus quite a lot on how the player feels. Focus on Foley and breathing, for example, because Foley and breathing within that world will bring the player so much closer to the characters.
FBI, show yourself!
Before you hit those tensions, before you build up to these moments, then you have to get the player to feel like Alan or like Saga, and it's a lot of focus that goes into getting that correct.
If you have ever experienced something that shocks you, it takes a little while to really understand what happened. That's called the nervous delay, or nerve delay, basically. If you delay that sound effect for just a little bit, it increases your own bodily effect, and it becomes much more powerful that way.
We play the game a lot ourselves and go, okay, what are you feeling at these points? But we often are chasing something that we've seen somewhere else. Like pacing of the scenes is really important. Looking at like how TV shows are paced and how we build the narrative across time throughout the entire game.
We had to use some extraordinary instruments, among them Marvin. It's interesting to play those instruments because they aren't equipped with a keyboard, or despite the fact that you bow them, they don't reproduce anything that resembles even closely any string instrument or whatnot. They are just producing noise.
We did a lot of recordings on instruments as well on the audio design side, so we were smashing them up, submerging them, bowing them. We send these to Petri, Petri sends us his stems, so it's a very collaborative effort, and specifically in the Dark Place, because we want to blur the line between sound design and music.
Hello?
Alan Wake?
Music is part of the storytelling and an important component. When Petri Alanko was working on the soundtrack of the first game, it was a wonderful experience and collaboration. I feel that looking back to the soundtrack that went on to win multiple awards, it's a huge part of the feeling, emotion, and it captures the Pacific Northwest landscapes and the scary parts of the experience so well.
Remedy is quite clearly in a league of their own when it comes to storytelling, characters, and so forth. It's important to me as a composer because they sort of give you the brain food for the themes, motifs, and orchestration.
I really wanted to keep on working with Petri. There was no question about him not returning to Alan Wake 2. It's been wonderful having him back working on the soundtrack for this game.
Look in the mirror.
The relationship that we've had with Poets has been going on for a long time, and it's been really cool to watch them grow and get more used to what we have to do.
We've been collaborating with Ports of the Fall ever since Max Payne 2. And the big step forward in that was the idea of them assuming the role of an in-world fictional band of old gods of Asgard for Alan Wake. And songs that were custom-made to comment on the plot and the lore of the world.
When Sam came back to me and said that they're actually doing more Alan Wake and they wanted Old Gods to have an even sort of bigger role in it, and that was very exciting. I don't think there was ever a question in our minds about whether we would do it or not. It's always been so much fun to do that stuff. And it's challenging in its ways, but it's also educational from the get-go. It was like, yeah, let's do this.
We have absolutely stunning pieces of music that we are using to give you a further perspective into the story, custom made for Alan Wake 2.